guys, and welcome to another Gen X Toybox interview. I'm really excited because I'm doing an interview with one of my really good friends, and he's a great artist, great guy, and an awesome collector, I might say. We have Chris Giarrusso with us. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
I'm super excited. I've been telling him I wanted to do an interview with him forever, and we finally set it up. So I'm super excited. So you guys might have seen Chris's work. He has quite a resume. So like he has his own books, like G-Man, phenomenal read. If you ever get a chance to read it, it's a great all ages read. And he has so many great adventures, so you should definitely check that out. And then when you do like your own art, you do your lettering and storyline on that. And then you also did hashtag danger recently, and that was by Ahoy Comics. That was published by them. And then you did Encounter with your buddies Art and Franco. So that was fun. And
Yep.
then your mini marbles, of course, you can forget about those guys, right? So yeah, so he's
Yeah.
done a lot of stuff, and not only is he an artist, but like I said, he's a really cool collector. And I'm sure you're perusing all around him right now. He has tons of cool stuff. It's everywhere. So we will be getting to all the toy goodness shortly. So Chris, thank you for doing the interview. First of all, I'm really excited.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on your show. I've been enjoying watching it grow.
Oh yeah, yeah. It went from like two people to I think we finally hit 200 subscribers yesterday. So
All
yeah.
right. Well, hey, after this interview, it'll watch that thing skyrocket to 201.
That's That's what I said. Oh my goodness. So tell us a little bit about your introduction to comics. What are your first experiences and what do you remember reading?
Uh, my well, I started reading comics in the newspaper, the comic strips.
Mm,
That was like a daily thing. That was like it just came into the house and then there it was.
yeah.
But I don't really remember comic books too much until my older brother, he's 3 years older than me, was an avid Mad magazine collector,
Oh yeah.
and at certain point he started like like going through the phone book and hunting down like every used bookstore that there was.
Awesome.
So I'd go with him. Like my mom would cart us around and
Mm,
take us to these places, and we ended up going, finding some comic book stores where he found all of his Mad magazines,
cool.
and I, we kept going frequently enough that I ended up buying my own comics and getting hooked.
Ooh, what'd you get hooked on? Like, what do you remember reading?
Let's see. I think I started reading Transformers comics and Grew the Wanderer by Sergio Aragonés,
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
because that was like the crossover thing because he was a Mad magazine artist.
Oh,
So
okay.
my brother got super into that, and I just wanted to get my hands all over anything he was interested in because he was cool, and I wanted to be like him, and whatever he thought was cool, then I wanted to know about it too.
Yeah, that
So
makes
that was kind of the gateway, and then pretty soon it was all the superheroes after that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think my first like actual comic I got was a Barbie comic. I think that's what I remember. I don't remember where I got it from either, but I remember having the Barbie comics and I've been actually thinking about collecting them again. So I might get back into it. So that's kind of cool. So like okay, so you were looking at the comics and you got interested. When did like the drawing and sketching and stuff come in? Was it like related? Did you look at the stuff and say like, "Ooh, I want to draw," or did you just like start drawing and be like, this isn't terrible. I'm gonna keep going."
Well, much like most of my answers to any kind of creative influence, it's just copying my brother.
Mm,
So even before we had comic books, just the newspaper comic strip stuff, he would draw Snoopy, then I'd be like, I want to draw Snoopy because my brother's drawing Snoopy.
oh,
Um, so that's really where the drawing started.
that's awesome. That's adorable.
He was my brother Dave was my first art teacher.
That's awesome. Now, does he do anything? Like, does he draw anything at all? Like, I don't know much.
He Well, he's one of these people that's got all the talent in the world, or but gets frustrated and decided at some point that he can't draw, um, which I still think is not true. I think he can draw, but he most of his um, creative time is spent with design work,
Mm,
and he does like a lot on web design. He actually runs my website. He puts my website together,
cool.
and he helps me do anytime I need like design stuff for my comics. He's my go-to. He's my secret weapon.
It's good to have a secret weapon. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if I have one of those. I guess my husband's my secret weapon. He does all the background stuff in the channel, and he does my IT stuff, like he got my internet working before the whole interview. So I guess everyone has to
Well,
have a secret weapon
you got to have a secret weapon
too.
or even an obvious weapon.
That's true too. I don't know if I have an obvious weapon. I guess I am the weapon. I am the obvious weapon.
Right.
So when you started drawing and sketching, like were you the kid that got in trouble for drawing in school and like doodling when you were supposed to do your work, or were you the one they were just didn't care? You were just drawing.
I don't remember ever getting in trouble for drawing stuff. I was a pretty studious, square student
I see that. Yeah.
kid. Like, yeah, I did all my homework and everything like that. And I mean, I remember some teachers would be like, if you finish your homework early, just you draw on the back of it or whatever. So yeah, there was never anything that led to trouble.
Cool. That's good. You don't want to get in trouble doing what you do. But that's
No,
funny.
I,
So
I wish I wish I could be one of those people that was like, oh, I could never stop drawing, and the teachers had to take the pencil out. Like, get your. I never had anything like that.
that's awesome though. No, that's good. So you were drawing, you were doing your thing, you didn't interfere with school. That's good. So when you like started realizing like, all right, I'm gonna do this, like did you receive any schooling or training and then like internships, stuff like that?
Um, well, yeah, I had an internship at Marvel Comics when I was in college, and it was when I was in college. They had a school newspaper with students submitted, everything, whatever. So I saw the comics there, and I thought I need to try this.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing I always wanted to do when I was a little kid, but I was always convinced that I didn't have the talent to do it. So I never pursued it until I was in, 21. And then right away I got hooked on seeing my work published.
Cool.
I wasn't very good, but
Yeah.
good enough for the school paper that was only student submissions.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you gotta start.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so that's where I started. I mean, I know a lot of my peers. They're like, yeah, I've known since I was 9 years old. This is what I'm going to do. I wish I had put it together earlier, but it happened the way it did. And the internship at Marvel Comics was the biggest break because that, ended up from there. I got hired at Marvel to work on staff, and that led to the mini Marvels getting developed and published there. So those were the really big breaks for me.
Like how does one get an internship? Like I never interned anywhere for anything. So what do you just like go knock on the door like, please, can I have an internship? Is like that how it works?
Well, most, I mean, companies that have internship programs, I guess you can do research on it. Although the internet wasn't as robust back then.
Yeah.
And I actually, again, my brother called me one day and he said, "Did you know Marvel Comics has an internship program? You got to apply for this internship. You got to do, and here's how you do it." And like, he was convinced that I was going to get an internship and get hired at Marvel, and that this would be this whole thing. And I'm like, and like, he wound up being right.
Yeah, apparently.
But it was insane, like how like certain he was that all the dots would get connected there along the way.
That is such a good support. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I can't even think. Like if he didn't, have so much faith in you, like what would have happened? I mean, I believe it would have happened either way, but I mean, he definitely had a part in having all the stars align. So that's pretty
Definitely. Yeah.
awesome. So you did your internship at Marvel and you eventually worked with them. So that's awesome. Um, and then you were working with them with both as a writer and an illustrator. And what was your experience working for them, like for Marvel as a company, and then doing mini Marvel series? Like, I was reading in your little bio about how you even created some characters, like some new Marvel characters for them. So, like, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was great, every step of the way. Like I said, I mean, I just kind of lucked into like just one opportunity after another, and it was just kind of being in the right place at the right time, sort of a thing. And it started out just there was no competition for the sort of thing I was doing. Right, there was no comic strips.
Right.
There was no humor comic strips in comics. and Marvel had their famous bullpen bulletins page that just filled with like news items, and um, the bullpen bulletins editor Zena Sarfin came to me and asked me if I wanted to, help her fill the space up. And it was basically just like, yeah, you just have at it, go ahead. They were pretty hands off, just like, if you come up with a good comic strip, we'll put it here. Yeah. And it's almost like, I wasn't even, I was very undeveloped at that time. So it was just so lucky to be in that position. And I appreciate that, it led to, the first couple of collections, a couple of one-shot comics, and then, now it's all collected and actually it's all collected in the Mini Marvels complete collection.
Right. You gotta have the complete collection.
But yeah, it's interesting to look through because I can, you can really watch. It's kind of like when I was a kid, I would, and Garfield was a comic strip, we'd go by the book collections of them. And the first book, it's like, that doesn't look like Garfield at all,
Right.
So yeah, I can see that all in here. You can see like, that doesn't look good at all.
You go back and be like, man, I wish I would have did that differently. Yeah, I can definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I mentally redraw everything in my head when I look at the old stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, it had its place, it had its time, and that's style back then. And you've learned, you've gone, grown along the way. So I mean, I get it. So you move on from Marvel, and then you come up with G-Man, right? So I know the history behind G-Man, but for those of my followers that may not, how did you get the idea for G-Man, and what was your inspiration?
Well, after Mini Marvels ran its course, Eric Larson, who he creates the Savage Dragon over at Image Comics. He's one of the Image Comics founders. He gave me the opportunity to do a comics, backup comic strip material in the pages of Savage Dragon. So at that point, people knew me for the kid superhero stuff. So I thought I'd just keep doing that, the kid superheroes just with new original characters. And I'd always, in my head fantasized about, wishing I was a superhero, my friends were superheroes and all that kind of thing. So I kind of like went back to like characters that I created in my head in high school. And, then they were all like adult superheroes, just like everything else was being created. But now I mini-sized them all.
Yeah.
And their stories and the relationships of the characters are all based on, me, my brother, again, of course, and my friends, and just like, wouldn't it be cool to have grown up and we were all superheroes? And that's basically what all the stories are.
That's awesome. Yeah, and but that's the best place to get inspiration is from the world around you. Like, I would like to think if I was a superhero, my superpower would be to like probably do a ton of things, but only when I'm asleep. Like, I'd constantly be in like a sleep state, but I'd be able to do anything. Like, I'd be able to make stuff move and do stuff for me. I think that would be my superpower, sleeping, but still being able to function like a person.
But while you're awake, powerless.
Yeah, completely powerless. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it would be. Because I mean
that's pretty cool. I mean, I get where you come from though. The idea you could be, so much more productive if you didn't have to waste time sleeping.
That's true. Yeah, because sleep's my favorite thing anyway. It's just what I do. But so that's
you're gonna write that comic.
I mean, I could, but I'm too tired. No, I don't know. We'll see. But
do it in your sleep.
Yeah, do it in my sleep. See, I mean, I never thought about that, what I would be like as a superhero until now. So now, who knows? Maybe I just inspired myself and I can do some little something. So.
Sure.
So currently, like, I know you've been doing some commissions since the cons are on hold and stuff like that, and you were doing conventions and you're working with friends. You're working with Franco and Art, and so if you were to collaborate with anybody as far as art, as far as writing, whatever, what would your dream collaboration be?
Well, Jack Kirby, but he's not alive. I'd say Eric Larson, is like the guy that I got really hooked on early. back in the early Image days, his Savage Dragon. So, again, this was just like, they say not to meet your heroes, you're always going to be disappointed, but like I got to meet my hero and become friends with him. And so I'm not disappointed at all. So I say, just meet him, but again, he's kind of just like, he just wants to create on his own sort of thing. So I don't think there'd be any kind of collaboration, but when I was doing the comic strips that appeared in Savage Dragon, I kept trying to center what was going on in the G-Man strips. I tried to like put it in the same world that was like happening in the Savage Dragon storyline, to just make it super easy for him if he wanted to stick G-Man like in one of his pages. He never did.
But it was there just in case.
Now that I'm saying that, I'm completely we did collaborate. I forgot. We did.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, now that you're saying that, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so I guess it happened.
Look at G-Man's face. Like, he's so happy. He's so happy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And so yeah, the way that happened was it was one of the big anniversary books for Savage Dragon, and Eric Stevenson actually suggested like Chris should draw like a few pages of something, and you guys could like Eric could draw the dragon in there and what back and forth, and like I just thought that was so cool. So I did it for his book. And at the time I was working on the Cape Crisis story, but I didn't know how it was going to fit together. So I just like tried to make sure that it was like in the future at some point, and then I'd figure out how to like take the story as I had it and connect it down the line.
Yeah. That's so yeah, you essentially did your dream collaboration. So.
Yeah. I guess I already did it. So.
But still, I mean, it was awesome. It was good, and it happened so awesome. So,
yeah.
Dream collaboration. I don't think I have a dream collaboration. So I'm not working on anything. So
well, it's the sort of thing. It's sometimes it catches you off guard, right? It's like you don't really think about it until someone asks you. Because generally, I'm just thinking about like, what am I going to do next? Like, what's the next move to make? And I don't really think like about I don't really entertain impossible ideas.
You never know, anything's possible. And that kind of segues my next question is what are your future projects? Like I said, you were doing commissions and no conventions and working with friends. So what do you have on your table right now? What are you working on?
The next thing I have coming up is a collaboration with a friend of mine, Brian Smith.
Ooh, I
believe you've interviewed previously.
Yes, I have.
And he's writing a book that I will be drawing. So it's going to pretty much take up all my time this year.
And that's I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. And oh my goodness. And in case you guys haven't seen the interview with Smitty, you should definitely check it out because that was a fun one. And I cannot wait to see what you two come up with because it's going to be great no matter what it is. I mean, right. I was very shocked with Smitty when we interviewed. He was talking about the genie that something about like farts. I like
wishful thinking.
Yeah, wishful thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you guys could like come up with something so crazy like that, and it would be phenomenal. So a genie that.
Well, Smitty comes up with the craziest ideas all the time, every day. He forgets more than anybody else would ever even have.
That's why I'm like, I cannot wait to see what this is. So guys, it's gonna be great. I promise you. A while back, so I did a walkthrough through your studio, which you call it the Fungin, and it is the art studio where you work, Smitty works. You have a couple other artists that work there as well. And it's where all of your work gets done, all of the brain power is, and where all the toys, well, I wouldn't say all the toys, but the majority of the toys are. And you can
the studio doubles as a toy museum.
It really does. Like it puts my house to shame, and I didn't think that was possible. So
you got to get a studio.
I need a whole nother house. I need a museum. I need a house, and then I need a museum. So I need another house just to show off the stuff, all of the stuff, and nothing but the stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be accurate to say you're a toy collector, right? So Yeah, what is it that you collect? I mean, we see some Transformers back there, but talk us through what you collect.
Should I take you through the tour, or you already have all that? You already have all the
I have the walkthrough.
roll.
That's going up shortly after this video so they can see all the fun stuff.
Yeah, mostly I gravitate towards the stuff that I had when I was a kid.
Mhm.
So Transformers is a big one. That was like the most amazing cartoon at the time. And the toys were just so much fun because it was like a puzzle thing. Like I wasn't one of these people that would like make up stories and smash the robots together, but I would sit there and transform it back and forth like all day long. Um, and I had all the superpowers collections, toys, the action figures, and the Secret Wars action figures. Those are the Marvel ones. Um, and so it's stuff. The stuff I collect now that's is very similar to that. Like I really like the Justice League Unlimited
Oh, yeah.
action figures. The simpler, more cartoony stuff is what I gravitate towards. Like the hyper articulated stuff, while it's like incredibly impressive, is just well, it's also beyond my price range too. I mean, you go broke real fast
That's
if you decide you want to buy all those.
that is true. Yeah, no. But yeah, we're always swapping toys. Like you'll pick up stuff for us, we'll pick up stuff for you, and of
Yeah,
course we're coming together and we're like, Chris, we're going here to a toy thing. You want to go? And we're always picking you up and taking you somewhere. So
yeah, and that's a lot of fun going on those toy hunts, right? And then you actually, it's you find more of the old stuff
mhm,
that way. There isn't really a lot of new. I mean, besides the Transformers, there that train's never going to stop, I guess.
I don't.
But the just like the regular action figures, not really a lot of new stuff that I buy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, well, I really can't say we don't buy new stuff because now Masters of the Universe is coming out with all types of new stuff. But I will say, as far as Transformers, I have tried to get into it, and I think it's just my frustration because, like you said, Transformers is they're like a puzzle, and you have to figure out. And I will probably break it in a million pieces if I try transforming something. So I rather just have a toy and play with it than try and figure out, where everything moves and goes, and something will pop off, and it's like a rare piece, and then I'm just not gonna do it. So I think that's where my disconnect with Transformers comes from because I watched the cartoon's great, but like the toys, I can't, like you said, it's a puzzle. My brain just does not work that way. So I was the smashing things together and my Power Ranger is going to beat up your Power Ranger and that.
I think a lot of it also, again, it's just all connected back to childhood. If you give me an old Transformers toy from the '80s, I'm not even I'm just unconsciously, you know, boom boom, and it's turned into a car or a robot, whatever. Most of the new stuff I buy, I just take it out of the box and I put it aside, and I think like, yeah, I'll play with that later, and then I just don't, I really don't, because just I'm busy being an adult now. But
Yeah.
it's cool to look at.
Yeah, it really is though. It makes for really great displays. And like speaking of displays, I want to talk about how you display your toys because you just don't pick up like any, display case and like I got to put this the right way. Like you actually make your own shelves for these, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like all those little shelves that you see behind him, he has made those. Like he'll just be like, "Hey, since you guys are here, you want to go to Home Depot?" And we're like, "Yeah, totally." And he builds shelves just like that. And I can't do anything like that. See, like all that is handmade from stuff from like Lowe's or Home Depot or like Reef Store you go to quite often to get some stuff too. So I mean, no IKEA shelves for you. You're making some really cool displays over there.
Well, it comes down to you need it like custom built, right? Like I'm not going to get a giant bookcase
Hmm.
that doesn't really serve the intended they're great. They're great for books, but they're not great for 4-inch action figures
That is
so much.
Yeah, that I mean, and you fit them to like what you need too, like all the little action figures and stuff, and it just goes.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I wish I could make displays for stuff. Like we just take the cheap way out. We go to IKEA and we buy stuff and like go on Facebook Marketplace and find stuff. So, but I really like them. I think that it's a great way to display your toys and I absolutely love it. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised John hasn't built any. You guys have seen me like put them together enough times.
yeah, no. He's all about like because I'm on Facebook Marketplace and I have a search saved where it comes up display case or spinner rack or something. And as soon as it comes up, I'm like, I'm gonna go buy it and I'm shoving it in the back of my van. And we have display cases for days. And plus all the antique places we go to have tons of display cases. So it's all about how you display the toys. It half of it is on the hunt to buy the toy. And then it's the I got the toy. And then it's how am I gonna display this toy? It's like, where am I going to put it? Like, that's half the battle. Like, I would say, toy collecting is figuring out, like, where am I going to put this? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
just want to be able to see it every day. So it's
right.
like I have the hallway of justice out here.
I love it. Hallway Justice. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to put up the walkthrough video. It is amazing how much stuff is in there. And it's not just your stuff. So you have the stuff that you like in there. And then you have, what Smitty collects and what.
Yeah. So there's 5 guys here. So it's a huge conglomeration.
Yeah, I know. Everybody just pitches in with their toy stuff. It's so awesome. And there's video game stuff to do. Like, I always want to ask, do you actually like sit there and play video games? Like, I know you have like a whole setup in there, but do you guys actually have time for it? Or are you mainly just working?
Smitty plays them. It's all Smitty stuff. Like I did not my video game development stopped pretty early on. So like which sounds sad or whatever, but I mean now I just think like how would I ever get anything done if I was still addicted to playing video games? I don't even know how to play games now.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I love video games so much. I would play. I spent most of the time playing when I was younger, and then I got back into it like in my 20s. And as one thing I wish I had more time for is to play. I mean, I love um Mario Brothers. It's one of my favorites, Contra. And then I love Super Nintendo. It was my favorite console, and I could sit there and play. And then PlayStation. I honestly don't know which is better, PlayStation 1 or Super Nintendo. They were both really
Well, we like you and I and John, we've gone to that retro arcade, Wieners and Losers, and again, it's like it's the stuff that I when I was a kid,
yeah.
like I could stay there playing video games all day.
Oh, Centipede. I played Centipede for like an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. I could do it. I miss it and I cannot wait until if ever COVID ends so I can go back and play some video.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that day.
And then,
What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? You're going after everyone's vaccinated and the world's safe. I'm gonna go play Pac-Man.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Pac-Man and I'm gonna play Pac-Man. I'm gonna go to some comic book conventions. Like that's what we're gonna do with our new and improved health. But that's what we're not like, let's go visit our family. No, I need to go get that Pac-Man. I need to go to it. I miss conventions so badly. I do. Just like, the networking, the meeting the people and, artwork done face to face. And
at this point, we've been doing this for 20 years. It's now conventions are kind of the only places I can see a lot of my friends now.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, I missed it.
Yeah. So all right, well back to the toy. I know we can talk about this all day, but like you're not really collecting any new toy stuff, but you're kind of collecting the Dragon Ball Z stuff, right?
Those are Smitty's.
Oh, those are his. Okay. So
Yeah. I mean,
in that Dungeons collecting.
Well, there's kind of a redundancy with the Dragon Ball stuff because I'm buying all the old Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Got it.
When I see it, but he's buying all this brand new, like insanely detailed, articulated, like super crafted stuff. So that's the one. It's like the multi-layered case out in the front there.
Mm-hmm. And you do.
Yeah, those are all Smitty's.
And you do some of the Masters of the Universe wrestlers too. I mean.
Well, I had to get that Macho Man.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some new toys sneaking in there.
Yeah.
So if you were to like, I don't know how much of your collection that you have like retro wise that you wanted to get back, but like, what is the one toy that's like your holy grail? It's like, oh, if money was an object, I want this toy. This is what I want. How you thinking? What?
I can't think of just like one thing.
Yeah.
But it's more like I would want the entire Superpowers line or the entire Transformers, original 1980s G1, like all of them. It's hard to narrow it down.
Every single one of them, and a place to,
It's like
yeah.
it's like if the Holy Grail came with like a full family dish set and with bowls and plates, and I
Oh,
want all of it with the goes with the Grail.
oh my goodness. Yeah, and then I would probably say,
What kind of dishes did Jesus eat off of?
um,
Everyone talks about that Grail.
yeah, no, yeah, but see, I would think it would be more like, organic, like some, I wouldn't say like bamboo, maybe some like wood, something like earthy. I don't know. That's just what I would think. Something earthy. Um, but I think like as far as I think our holy grail is I know he wants to get the store sign back that he had to sell. It was like an 80s store sign for Masters of the Universe. That's one of them. He never had an Eternia, but I mean, he would definitely want one if it ever was financially feasible. Um, and then, I am in the process of getting my Holy Grail in my toy line. I didn't even know I wanted, and I didn't even know they had it. Um, I am currently acquiring a Thundercats cat lair. So it's going to be in my possession soon, sooner than later.
This is something that they had in the 80s and you didn't know it existed until recently.
Yeah, because okay, so I'm building up my Thundercats collection. Thundercats is I love the cartoon and watched it all the time. And I never had any of the toys though. This is the thing. Like I watched the cartoon but never had any of the toys. But as an adult, I have a new appreciation for the toys. So I'm starting to collect them all over again. I'm finding everything like Thundercats. And we have the Moomers tomb and everything, and we have some really cool pieces. We got some minis and everything. And we watched the cartoon, and I was asking my husband, I said, did they ever make a cat's lair? And he's like, yeah, they did. I was like, oh, that's probably really cool, really expensive, and I'll never see one. Well, we went to a toy show, and lo and behold, they had one. And it's definitely up there. It's going to be, I think it's going to be the priciest toy that we own in the house, and it's going to be a toy that I own. I'm never going to live that down. It's going to be more expensive than my husband's Castle Grayskull Classics. So I'm not going to live down the fact that I have the most expensive toy in the house, but it's kind of like something I didn't know existed. So now I think the only holy grail I have isn't really it's really doable. It's just I haven't ordered it yet. It's a pop, and it's Ice Cube and his Impala. I think that is what my holy grail is. It's just something I want for my collection. It's the only thing I'm actually looking for. So, and I'm pretty sure I can go online and get it right now. I just haven't.
I feel like you have like new grails by the week.
I do because I wound up getting the toys that I want, or finding a whole new series, like a whole new thing. Like we'll go out, and then we found this new thing called it's called Little Dracula, and they're these little action figures of it's a little Dracula guy, but they had a character called Garlic Man who had a garlic head, and he had a gun where he would shoot out garlic toward the Dracula and everything. And I've never seen anything like it. It was completely weird. And now I want all of them. So because they're really cool.
Is this something new, or is that?
It's vintage, and that's the thing. I've never heard of it before. So like whenever we go to toy stores, we'll find new things that we've never seen before. And now it's like, oh my goodness, now I need all of them because that's the collector in us. So we have like mini collections within our collections. And now that I'm
Yeah.
really starting to get into toys, it's hard because now I'm like, oh, I want to buy this. And now the whole series looks cool. So now I have to get like, I think we just finished up Monster in My Pocket. Like, how long did that take? It took like 6 months, but I think we own all the first series of Monster in My Pocket because we saw one day and it became a thing. So I'm
It's
very
the eternal slippery slope of being a collector.
it is, but I'm so proud of you because you stick to what you stick to your Transformers and your your other stuff. Like you know what you're collecting, and you don't stray from the path. I mean, look, I got
I try not to slide down the slope, I guess. Try to.
I'm down that slope, and I'm like trying to get off, and I can't.
I mean, if you like it, then
And plus, I got a channel to run. I got to talk about toys, right?
Oh yeah, now
I'm
you're
only for the
obligated.
channel. I'm only buying toys for the channel. That's the only reason I'm doing it. No. But I mean, those are all the questions I had. It was just, it was great talking to you and about, your history and how you got into everything. I mean, you've done a lot and you've done some really cool things. And guys, I want you to check the description below because there's going to be tons of information about Chris and about the books that he's done and links to his web pages and such. And yeah, I love talking toys with you. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
And thank you for finally doing the interview with us. It was just, we keep saying to ourselves, like, oh, we got to set up this interview. We got to set up the interview. Finally, we just said, fine, we're doing it. So thank you for
All right. Well, I had a good time. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, again, everybody check the description below and I will see you next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. I thought you were going to do the Star Trek thing at the end.
Hey everyone, so we have reached a new milestone and I'm really excited because finishing one milestone means I can go make another one. So I would like everyone to make sure that they're continuing to comment, like, and subscribe on the page and get your friends and family to do it too, because the more the channel grows, the more fun stuff we get to do. So I wanted to let you guys know we're going to still do giveaways and such with the comments, and the comments have been reset at the 150 mark. So any videos after January 10th is how we're going to count the comments going forward. So make sure you're commenting on the new videos that are coming out. So I'm thinking our next giveaway is probably going to be at the 300 subscribers mark, and I think it's very doable. I think we can reach it, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it. So I think, I don't know. I don't think I know what the prize is going to be yet. So it's to be determined. We'll see. And, I'm always taking suggestions. So if you want to put something down in the comments that, some toy that you would like to see as a giveaway, just let me know. So yeah, and it could be another winner's choice. So who knows? And don't be disheartened. I know some of you think that 300 is really far away, but who knows? I may just do a random giveaway in the middle just because I like doing giveaways. So stay tuned. I may put a secret word in a video that if you are the first one to find the hidden word, then you get a toy or get a prize. So who knows? So stay tuned, and I appreciate you guys as always, and help me reach my next milestone. I'll see you soon.